All right, guys, it's 4 p.m. Eastern here in fabulous Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And sorry, I wanted to start at 3, but I had some software issues on my computer, so I had to set it up here on the cell phone. But I think the cell phone actually works better. It's a better camera than what I have on the computer's webcam. So I wanted to say, hey guys, welcome to Affluent Journeys. Today we have a special, kind of almost impromptu, short notice live stream today in cruise chat. Of course, I'd love to see any questions, chats, and we'll do a Q&A here in a little bit, just general cruise chat and hang out for a while. And but the big news today is there's a new warning from Royal Caribbean Group on their cruise advertising. And if you go to the Affluent Journeys Facebook page, I posted that ad earlier today. It's the New Year's New Discoveries ad, which you'll see on the Affluent Journeys Facebook page. And basically, they're doing an advertisement, one of their BOGOs or big discount, ads plus extra discounts and that kind of stuff, which I frequently promote. But there's a notice down at the bottom of it. And if you read in the comments of the chat, I posted the full notice there, and I'll read that to you guys now. And if you see, here's the notice. Prior to booking, please consult all applicable U.S. Centers for Disease Control, travel advisories, warnings, or recommendations relating to cruise travel at cdc.gov/travel. Notices. If a certain threshold level of COVID-19 is detected on board the ship during your voyage, the voyage will end immediately. The ship will return to the port of embarkation, and your subsequent travel, including your return home, may be restricted or delayed. Health and safety protocols, guest conduct rules, and regional travel restrictions vary by ship and destination and are subject to change without notice. Due to evolving health protocols, imagery and messaging may not accurately reflect onboard and destination experiences, offerings, features, or itineraries. These may not be available during your voyage, may vary by ship and destination, and may be subject to change without notice. So that's a big new notice and disclosure that the Royal Caribbean lawyers have obviously drawn up and thrown up there to try and avoid lawsuits and that type of thing. So I've already emailed 2 of my contacts at Royal Caribbean Group. And by the way, if you don't already know, Royal Caribbean encompasses Royal Caribbean, Celebrity Cruises, Azamara Cruises, and several other smaller lines like the world's worst luxury line, Silversea, excellent luxury line in Germany, Hapag-Lloyd, Royal Caribbean Group recently acquired. And they also have Mein Schiff, which is a German line. They actually use the same model Celebrity ships that Celebrity uses. And then a few other foreign brands that you may not really know. So what they're doing here is trying to absolve themselves of various lawsuits. So I just wanted to kind of talk about this. So I have emailed 2 of my contacts at the Royal Caribbean Group and have not heard back yet. It says if a certain threshold is detected, well, what is that threshold? Is it 1% of the ship? Is it 10%? I doubt it's 10%. But there's some number above 0 and some number above 1. It has to be, in my mind, that would cause the cruise line to stop a voyage and send it back home. In my mind, that's why they're calling it a threshold. It has to be some number above 1. There could be 4 people in one cabin. That could be one family, and they could all get or test positive for COVID at some point during the cruise. We don't know what that's going to be yet because we don't know the onboard testing program. We know everyone's going to be testing negative before they get on a cruise. Probably at least twice. You're going to have to go get a test somewhere outside and then do a rapid test there at the pier. And they'll use at least 1 or 2 of those kind of tests to determine who gets on and who doesn't. And then on board, if someone tests positive, what are they going to do? How can you run a business like this if every time someone tests positive for COVID on your cruise ship, you stop the cruise and send everybody home? So they're going to establish what appears here to be a threshold of some type, some number. It can't be zero. It can't be one. If one is the threshold, then there's no threshold. It's one. So some number above one. They're going to determine at some point, hey, this is too infectious. We got to turn the ship around. And by the way, this isn't the first time they've ever done this. Anytime there's a norovirus outbreak, if it gets above a certain level, they'll stop the cruise and get everybody off the cruise ship. Whenever there's norovirus or gastro, or any other flu even, that if it's spreading around the cruise ship too much, they'll end the cruise. That's the right thing to do. So they've done this kind of thing before, just not recently so much. So that's interesting. That's kind of the big news of the day, is that they are not only going to do a testing program, but they're also going to have a threshold program to stop the cruise at some point, which means that there could be 1 or 2 tests on board, and they're not going to stop the cruise. They have an isolation program. They have a quarantine program already set in place on board the cruise ships for people who theoretically test positive. Okay, you go down to the quarantine cabins and the rest of the cruise still goes. So that's interesting to me. So yeah, I see Simeon already made the question. Well, there's the answer. That's the big news, is that they're going to have a threshold program of some type on board. And then, of course, all the rest of this is just lawyerly and that kind of thing. And of course, the health protocols are going to be evolving. You'll notice that the test cruises have not started yet. I'm hoping for an announcement on that either tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm going to be attending an online meeting with the cruise line executives. And not that I'm someone that they're consulting, I'm just attending an online meeting that they're going to have and hopefully give some announcements. And then if they start test cruises either here in January, which they can do, or February, which at this point seems more likely, then it's like a 60-day period before any cruises can start. And what that means is essentially if it's February, they do a test cruise and it's 60 days until a cruise can start. That's March and April. And by then, pretty much the Caribbean season is over. So you will not see, in my opinion, a mass Caribbean season here in 2021. So don't bother booking a cruise to the Caribbean, before April. It probably won't go. So what does that mean? That means that most of the cruise ships that would be here doing the Caribbean will make their way back out to Europe if they hope to have them run in Europe in the summer, like the Celebrity Edge and the newer, nicer ships. Or some will go to Alaska, and that's a whole nother ball of wax out there. The ball of wax with these cruise ships starting again is, what are the other countries' requirements going to be? Is Canada going to open up for Alaska? And that can only be 7-night cruises. And then in Europe, are they going to open up to Americans? And there's no word on that whatsoever right now. So that's pretty much all I have to say. That's the main news of the day. There's a little bit of movement. Is this a little teaser that, hey, we're going to start ramping things up? I haven't seen specifically where the CDC said, okay, you're going to have a threshold of 1% of your onboard passengers test positive, you turn the ship around. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm wondering where they got this. And as soon as I find out, I will do updates. So let me see. Do we have any comments? Do we have, let's see here. Turn on the live chat. Only Simeon. I see 12 of you are watching right now. So if you're watching, say hi so I can see who's on. And if you have any questions, you want to talk about things, anything you want to talk about, I'll be here for a couple minutes. If not, we'll shut it down and then see what else is going on. Beetle owner, hello from New Zealand. Oh wow, man. Hey, thanks for tuning in. What time is it? What time is it down there in New Zealand? Oh, so one person disappeared. Oh, that's not too bad. 10:10 in the morning. All right. All right. So let me ask you guys, what do you think? Would you book a cruise with this warning in place? Would you be comfortable jumping on a cruise with them saying, hey, there's going to be a threshold? Of course, we don't know what it is yet. But let's say, let's say it's 1%. Would you book a cruise knowing that if 1% of the people, test positive during the cruise, that they will stop the cruise and turn around? What do you think? Type yes or no. And I'll make a poll question on YouTube after the stream, and we'll see how that stacks up as well. Hey, Jason. Jason says, hello from Orlando. If I had a vaccine, I would sail. That's a smart thing. That's actually really what the cruise lines are going to gear for. And John says yes. So we have 2 yeses so far. I guess the other thing is, can the cruise lines require a vaccine? And Frank Del Rio, the CEO of NCL Group, says we're investigating the legalities of that. And I thought I heard him say earlier that at the moment, they're not actually allowed to require a vaccine for people to get on their cruise ship. And to me, that sounds unusual, but of course, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know that part of the law too well. But it seems to me that any country who's worth their worth would require a vaccine for entry. And Frank said on one interview I heard him doing, well, if that country requires it and we can't, then I guess we don't go to that country. And I'm like, well, how about the other way? You go to that country and then, you make sure everyone has the vaccine before you let them on the cruise ship, and that way you can run your cruise and more people theoretically will get the vaccine because they want to get on a cruise. That seems like the way to do it to me. So far we have 2 yeses and no nos. So I guess that's we're batting 1,000 on that one. All right, guys, we're about 15 minutes in. I don't see a big rush of, we got another one. Beetle owner says I only booked for 2022. There's no way the New Zealand government will allow NZers to fly out this year. Going cruising and then come home without a 14-night stay in isolation in a hotel. Yeah, that would really suck, especially with all that time that it takes you to travel to get out here to the Caribbean or somewhere else where you might want to cruise. So let me ask you guys this, those of you who are watching, do you actually have anything active booked now for later this year or 2022? What do you have on the books at the moment? Gene has the Odyssey for 2022. That's a good one. Didn't book it with me though. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Actually, the thumbnail for this stream I took from Facebook on my video tour that I did a couple years ago on the Anthem of the Seas. So if you want to see a video tour of the Odyssey, you can go watch my video tour on the Anthem. Beetle says we had 31 positive tests yesterday in all of New Zealand, I suppose. And well, we had 41,000 or something yesterday in the States. Hey, John, thanks for tuning in. We have a cruise booked for the end of June. Fingers crossed. Depending on where it goes, I wouldn't cross those fingers too tight. And Jason says nothing booked, playing it by ear. I mean, for right now, if you don't have something booked, I would say wait on it, even though I lose money if I tell you that. Just wait until the cruise lines say for sure, yeah, we're going to do this cruise. And just because it's on their schedule doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know, they've been canceling cruises every month, and looks like Royal Caribbean Celebrity are due for another round here pretty soon. Sorry, John, I gotta be real on here. But all right, here we go. All right, guys, I think that's good for now. I wanted to say thanks to everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please make sure to like the video here and subscribe to Affluent Journeys here on YouTube. Follow the Affluent Journeys Facebook page and hit like there. I put all my breaking news, and a lot of times I'm the first person to see that news before other news outlets report it, especially this thing today that I'm talking about. I think I'm the first one to report it. And then give me a follow on Instagram as well. You'll see other things I do on my various travels. And Jean says she wants to book the Edge for 2023 without the kids. That's a good idea. And all right, guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments below if you think maybe I should schedule some more, regular streams and cruise chats. Maybe I should do it for later in the evening. 4 o'clock's a little early, but I really wanted to get out there with this one because it's an interesting piece of news. All right, thanks again. And please stay tuned for the next one.